Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this.
South Carolina is the answer.
It's a good one.
Because
it's a good one.
And the reason why is because we just sort of, it feels like keep waiting on the letdown. You know, they beat Kentucky, they beat Tennessee at Tennessee, then they get a Georgia team at Georgia. They close as a 2-point underdog, and you're just like, okay, this is like the perfect. They're gonna shit the bed basically before Monday. They're not gonna get into the AP top 25, and they win the game, and they win the freaking game, and now they're gonna be ranked in the AP top 25 for the first time in 7 years. Come Monday. I mean, look, they had to. It's a weird existence because you have to almost validate the Kentucky and Tennessee wins by not losing to Georgia, but they did that. And so now, I mean, I feel like this South Carolina team is going to be one of those teams that shows up, you know, Elite Eight even. Like I know that sounds crazy, but they're winning games that they probably just shouldn't be winning. And now they're, 19-3, and they're going to be ranked in the top 25 on Monday. And so I would say, just for their perception of that program, they helped themselves the most today.
I got two more, John. I got two more that really helped themselves. One of them tonight was Texas going on the road and beating TCU. Texas is another team that's kind of in that like weird, bubbly kind of a range. And I think I was talking with our guy Stuckey from the Action Network today before this game at Rupp, and we were talking through who are the teams. Yeah, don't worry about it, Goodman. You're not cool enough to know who he is.
You don't know Stuckey? You don't know Stuckey, the legend?
No, I got no idea who Stuckey.
Goodman doesn't know. He's not in the streets like we are, John. Texas is one of those teams where
he's a Fog Allen.
It's hard to
exactly. I can't get to the streets. How can I leave? I'm never going to leave. I don't see streets.
So Texas is one of these teams where I can't figure out like if they're good or they're terrible. And when you go on the road and do things like beat TCU pretty handily too, that's one of the ways to kind of say like, you know what, maybe this team is actually pretty good. And the other one that I want to throw in there, it didn't happen today. It happened last night. Butler goes on the road and beats Creighton 99-98 in a thrilling game where the final minute took, I think, 27 minutes because of all the reviews, which is something that we have to change, and a rant that I will go on at some point. I don't know if tonight's the night for it, but
not tonight.
They were right there on the cut line. They were in a playing game according to our most recent Field of the 68 bracket, and they go on the road and they beat Creighton. Like, that is a win that they badly needed, and it is the kind of win that will move them from being right there on the cut line to being in the NCAA tournament, and that could be the difference between them dancing and them heading to the NIT. So credit to Butler, credit to Thad Matta for getting that done.
Hey, Rob, look at Goodman, man. He's looking around. He's worried that like he's gonna get the lights turned off. He's like, I can't take a Rob Dauster rant tonight. I don't have time. He's worried about getting locked in that motherfucker.
I'm gonna grab one of these brooms and help these people. I feel bad. They've been here a long time.
Closest to a broom, brother. Closest to a broom.
Yeah, I'm gonna help out.
Hey, you gotta stop looking around, though, man. You
Auburn,
look paranoid.
Hey, I'm gonna give you a couple more. I'm not gonna go long-winded like Dauster, but Auburn at Ole Miss, really good win, road win. SEC, Auburn had kind of fallen off lately. They needed this as kind of a get-right game. Utah versus Colorado, big one for the Utes. If the Utes want to get in the NCAA, Pac-12 is probably going to get 2 teams in. Maybe they get 3. You know, I could see Arizona, Utah, and Colorado all getting in, but this was a big one for Craig Smith and the Utes.
Yes. Look, if I could expound just a little bit on your Auburn point, I was sort of arguing in the group chat about them because, like, I know that they don't have – I think they're 0-4 or actually 1-4 in quad one now. That team is really freaking good. They're gonna beat Alabama on Wednesday. They're gonna pick up some wins here very soon. Like, they're basically being penalized, I think, in the national perception because they lost a neutral game to Baylor and they lost at Alabama by 4 in a rivalry game. it's just a function of their schedule, right? It's just like who they haven't played yet. That's all going to change.
They're like Baylor, they had a chance to, it was the first game of the year.
Well, yeah, and they beat the shit out of Indiana. And I know the Indiana is not good, but they beat the shit out of Indiana like that, like by 30.
Everybody beats the shit out of Indiana, John.
I know, but I mean, like you can't help what happens to a team after you play them, though. Like that's what I do hate that about college basketball. It's like a team can be performing a certain way when Team A sees them, you're right, but then they could fall off, and then by the time you get to March, like, well, that win was no good because they shit the bed. 2 months after you played, even though they were
like
actually
Wichita
great.
State. Like, what if Wichita State goes on a run here, John?
Stop, dude. That is actually disrespectful.
Speaking of which, no, I want to know your thoughts on the biggest shot maybe in Memphis basketball. I don't want to say history, but it's going to be up there. The David Jones game winner today to save Penny Hardaway in his coaching career.
Well, I'll be honest. I could make a case, as we're talking about teams that help themselves the most today, I can make a case for Memphis because David Jones' game winner prevented us from starting to have incredibly difficult conversations about Penny Hardaway. It's no secret. I'm in Memphis. I cover Memphis. I'm here locally, and it was depressing when they were down 13 in the second half with 8 or 9 minutes to go, and you're seeing the body language and there's a real butterfly effect where the Wichita State kid makes both free throws there late, and Memphis doesn't make a game winner, and then what? It doesn't change, I think, the message of the season and just the slide and how ugly this has gotten. But it at least does provide, and this is all you ever look for in college basketball and hope for, it's just a little glimmer, right? Just a little glimmer that maybe these guys, if they were down, 13 double digits in the second half, maybe this is the rallying point where they get their shit together. The talent has never been an issue. You don't beat Clemson, you don't beat A&M, you don't beat Virginia, you don't beat the teams that they've beaten by not having talent. It's just, can you motivate that talent? So yeah, I mean, I think David Jones saved Penny Hardaway's ass today. Not just with that game winner, but with the foul and the 3-point shot. I mean, those guys dug in. And look, I'm glad we're not having that discussion today. There is a two-sided.
That would have been the worst. Though. That would have been the worst loss of the day. Like honestly, that would have been the worst loss of the day.
They closed -10. Yeah, I mean, and they've been making a habit out of shitty losses, but. Yeah, you can't go. The last time Memphis basketball lost 5 games, it was Johnny Jones. The next year, they hired John Calipari. So 24 years ago, you can't do that at a program like Memphis. But there are two sides to the coin.
Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.